off, but he didn't care.
I smoked some of it already, but that's still is off our plant.
This is off of ours?
Oh yeah, one of the one pieces I took home from here that you had.
Oh, yeah.
Took a minute to dry, but it was, man, it was stony. I go, I can pull it right now.
I can't smoke it dry, man, but thank you. I would. Oh, shit. I'm sorry. I would, but, it'll hurt my throat right before the show. Hey, Debbie. So, yeah, I made a tweet. I told everybody you showed up. Saved the day this morning. Let me refresh the page, Debbie, because it says 0 in the chat. 0. Oh, hey, Phil. No, I won't refresh it. Okay, cool. But we are going to smoke. And that plant number 2, oh, it's so good, that Gorilla Glue.
Give me that one. That one. Give me that one. Give me that one. Give me that one.
So mean to him. I hope he bites you hard when he bites you. He never bites you? Mark just pushes the dog right on his head. Hey, Phil. Hey, Nick. Debbie, cool. What's up, everybody? So, I've got a really, just got done watching earlier show. Oh, good. You're cracking out on the garden. This is something I wanted Mark to hear. And I want to play this for my mom and my sister, too, eventually. But I want you guys to hear it, too. So this is Guy from Coin Bureau talking about crypto for beginners. I think it's really important that everybody learn this, understand how to explain it to other people.
Start talking about cryptocurrencies with friends and family is, what the hell is cryptocurrency? Well, here's how I answer that question. Put simply, cryptocurrencies are like regular currencies, except they're entirely digital. Each individual cryptocurrency coin is fundamentally just a collection of numbers and letters. This sounds complicated, but it's actually not far off from what we see with currencies today. Here's what I mean by that. Almost every physical money bill on the planet has a unique serial number. This serial number corresponds to information like when the bill was printed, where it was printed, and so on.
Top of the hour, guys.
In theory, a record of all money bills that have ever been printed and where they are is kept by a central bank, which shares this information with smaller banks and the government. If you have a debit card or credit card, you'll know that you have an account number on there as well. You also have a password or PIN number that you use to access the money in that account. Your bank branch knows your account number and your name because you had to provide your personal information to open an account. This info is also shared with the central bank and the government. Now, let's say you have a $20 bill with the serial number ABC, and your bank account number is 123. When you deposit that bill into your bank account, your bank branch, the central bank, and the government will see and confirm that the $20 bill ABC has been moved into bank account number 123. This is almost exactly how...
Nice! Cheers, buddy!
Each individual cryptocurrency coin is like the serial number you see on a physical bill, just without the physical bill.
Tire him out.
Just like regular bills, almost every cryptocurrency can be divided
Gorilla
into
Glue
smaller
plant number
pieces.
2. So
In the case of
so
Bitcoin,
sweet.
each BTC can be divided into 100 million pieces called satoshis, which are like cents to a dollar. A cryptocurrency wallet address is like a bank account, except that there's no physical card that goes along with it. It's just an account number. Because you don't need to provide any personal information to create a cryptocurrency wallet, this means that your identity is not attached to your crypto wallet like a bank account.
Okay, so what he just said, the most standout point I think that you can walk away with here is that when you're comparing regular dollars to crypto, people think that American dollars are anonymous, and he's saying, no, they're not anonymous. He's like, your amounts are being tracked. What is anonymous, though, is crypto. It's really interesting, but... You know, it's anonymity is not the important thing about crypto. With, you know, who cares, who knows what or whatever. It's trackable, and the government will be able to trace it for tax purposes and all that shit. And I'm sure that if you're running some kind of an exchange that isn't doing that, you're going to get shut down. But all these exchanges are licenses. They're all licensed to operate. So, they're all doing it according to what the license deems necessary. Where were we? How far in were we? We were all the way up to here? Shit. I don't know how far in we were. I don't want you guys to have to listen to the same thing over and over again. Here we go. Oh yeah, we were this far. Okay.
Like a bank account, except that there's no physical card that goes along with it. It's just an account number. Because you don't need to provide any personal information to create a cryptocurrency wallet, this means that your identity is not attached to your crypto wallet like a bank account is. Most importantly, any cryptocurrency held in your personal wallet is held directly by you, not custodied by a bank like regular money in a bank account. This means that nobody can shut down your cryptocurrency wallet or block your transactions because you have total control over that account at all times. Now the trade-off here is that if you lose access to your cryptocurrency wallet or forget to write down the recovery phrase you get when you make one, well, you'll lose your cryptocurrency forever. Instead of banks and the government keeping track of everyone's bills and bank account balances, these records are stored across all the computers connected to a cryptocurrency network. These transactions and account balances are public and can be viewed by anyone using something called a blockchain explorer.
Michael Cooper, hello.
Because computers can earn cryptocurrency for processing transactions on a cryptocurrency network, this incentivizes more computers to join the network to process transactions and earn cryptocurrency. This makes cryptocurrency networks secure because there is no single point of failure. This is called decentralization, and it's the polar opposite of the centralized setup.
Listen, that's important right there. Decentralization.
Now, in case you didn't put...
Very important point. Crypto is decentralized, and the dollar bill is not. It's run by the Fed, and it's the value of the dollar is determined by the Fed. Remember that. Crypto is not. It's basically self-determining. It's a big deal. And it's a huge difference between the two.
Two and two together.
Something my mother is not very comfortable with. She likes knowing that somebody's in control of it all.
That means the digital currencies banks around the world are creating are not cryptocurrencies. They're creating a seriously dystopian payment network. Be sure to tell them that the Coin Bureau has a video about that on their YouTube channel, and it's in the top right here. Once you've blown their minds with that analogy, you'll probably get questions about Bitcoin and Dogecoin and any other cryptocurrencies they've heard about. Here's what I would say. While you've probably heard of Bitcoin and Dogecoin, there are actually thousands of cryptocurrencies, just like there are hundreds of different regular currencies. US dollars, euros, Chinese yuan, and so on. The crazy thing is that every cryptocurrency is different, and not all of them are designed to be a currency you would actually use for everyday transactions.
Dude,
broadly speaking,
I told you to give up on Coinbase 3 hours ago, and I told you instead to get Uphold or any other one. I mean, Uphold is one. It should be easy. You just totally ignored me, bro. I can't help somebody that's just gonna fucking ignore me. I gave you the right information, and you just chose to ignore me. I said if Coinbase won't let you with too much information, then go get Uphold, and you just ignored me.
There are two types of cryptocurrencies, coins and tokens. Now, cryptocurrency coins belong to cryptocurrency networks that were built from the ground up. And by from the ground up, I mean that someone spent a lot of time and a lot of money putting together the code required to create a safe and reliable cryptocurrency network. Cryptocurrency coins are the cryptocurrencies given to computers when they process transactions for a cryptocurrency network.
Oh, yeah, Michael, we don't do Trovo anymore. They banned me for life from Trovo for drug use. Not allowed to use drugs on Trovo. What can I say? I use drugs, you know?
For example, BTC is a cryptocurrency coin because...
Hey, you guys want to see something funny? Hey, Mark, do you use drugs? It's like, yeah. Yeah.
Bitcoin network was built from the ground up, and BTC is given to the computers that process transactions for the Bitcoin network. Because cryptocurrency networks are so hard to make from scratch, only a few dozen.
No, I'm not going to waste my time with you and Coinbase. I told you to download Uphold, and you're ignoring me. I hope you got a driver's license, bro. You're going to need something to prove your identity. You know, like some kind of ID, I'm sure. Personal identification card, something.
And cryptocurrencies are actually coins.
Passport.
The rest are cryptocurrency tokens.
You sent me a
In
direct...
contrast to cryptocurrency coins, crypto tokens are easy to
Michael, you sent me a direct message on Twitter, bro? Are you tweeting at me, bro? Hey, it's 7:10, everybody. I have no message request from you. Yo, I have no message request from you. Listen. Oh, Instagram. Yeah, I don't do Instagram so much, dude. Hit me up on Twitter. Hit me up on Twitter, bro. At Nays Garden on Twitter. This fucking IG shit, man. I don't even know where to find my messages at. That's a photo. No. Oh, request? Is this you? I don't see you, bro. I don't see you, bruh. I don't see you, Michael Cooper. I don't see you, Michael Cooper on IG, bruh. Let's go back to the video.
make and can often be created in a matter of minutes with little to no effort. This is why there are tens of thousands of tokens. The NFTs you keep hearing about are actually cryptocurrency tokens that are like digital certificates of ownership for physical or digital art pieces. NFTs are just the tip of the iceberg of what you can do with tokens as well.
Okay, Kai, listen to me. Download Uphold, UPHOLD, bro. There's other ones too. I just can't remember what they're called, but yeah, get Gemini or Uphold or name another one. Yeah, that one. The one that I can't remember the name of. Get that one too. Uphold, UPHOLD. 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 You just ignored me before. Why didn't you ask me this before, bro? I said don't fuck with Coinbase if you can't get into it. I said get Uphold or get Gemini or get what's that? Exodus. Get Exodus.
Oh, for example, there's a company called Circle that issues a cryptocurrency token called USDC.
Just give them a whole bunch of them until you find one that you can use.
is fully backed by real US dollars, which means that for every one USDC
you won't see it on
circulation,
Facebook, bro.
Circle has $1 US in the
Happy
bank.
710.
You can create USDC by giving them your dollars and redeem your dollars with USDC. Another company called Paxos issues a cryptocurrency token called PaxG. Each PaxG token is backed by 1 troy ounce of gold kept in a vault here in London, and you can redeem PaxG tokens for real physical gold or US dollars. The best part is that both Circle and Paxos are fully regulated in the United States.
There's backed crypto right there. My mom would love that.
And regularly audited to make sure they have the appropriate number of reserves on hand backing their tokens. How's that for security? Now, speaking of security, the most important thing to remember about cryptocurrency tokens is that a lot of them are nothing more than scams. This is primarily because cryptocurrency tokens are so easy to create. All a scammer needs to do is create a token, set up a fancy website, pay for a few ads on social media, pay a few news outlets to feature their shitcoin, and they can get rich off crypto noobs overnight. Naturally.
Yes, Uphold, UPHOLD. You got it right, Kai. Uphold. Yes. Hey, Lamp, what app do you use to purchase your crypto?
The next question your crypto-curious compatriots are likely to croak is a timeless classic. Are cryptocurrencies safe? After all, I heard they're used by scammers and criminals, and I keep reading about all of these cryptocurrency hacks. Well, this is usually my response to these sorts of questions and comments. Whether a cryptocurrency is safe or not ultimately depends on the context. For starters, not all cryptocurrencies are created equal. Some cryptocurrencies...
Hey, Lamp, would it be possible for you to help Leslie Schmidt with Coinbase? Hey, because one of you's on Twitch. Well, one of you's on Twitch and the other one's on Facebook. You should both come to my main YouTube channel so you could talk to each other. You know, or Lamp, do you have a Facebook, bro? He's Leslie Schmidt. You could message him on Facebook, bro. If you're on Facebook. I don't know if you are. Because he's on Facebook. Well, he's reached a point on Coinbase where he can't figure out what the fuck he's supposed to do. No, I cannot come to Discord. Maybe Lamp could go to Discord. Lamp, you want to go to Discord and help him? I mean... I think you guys would have less of a language barrier. And, you know, I have no idea what he's looking at. Lamp, have you ever been to the Discord server? See if you guys can connect somehow, man. I don't know what to tell y'all. I mean, if Lamp can go to Facebook. Do you have a Discord now? Yeah, it's at Nays Garden, hashtag 1766. Can you send your Discord? At Nays Garden, hashtag at Nays Garden, hashtag 1766. But you should really look at Uphold, bro, or Gemini, or Exodus. There's a whole bunch of other apps out there, bro. And I'm sure you get one that doesn't have the KYC on it. Or whatever those letters are. KFC, KYC. Hey, Bad Bad Blue Jaws. 5, thank you, brother. You're hosting me. Nays Garden, 1766. 1766. What's that, Bad Bad Blue Jaws? What's that a link to? Is that a link to this video? Is that a link to the YouTube channel, bro? Thank you. Nays Garden. It's at Nays Garden, hashtag 1766. Yes. How do you not know that, man? Did you not put my server in your favorites? It says dated. It says updated? What? Well, whatever. We're going to get back to this video, man.
Currencies are built to prioritize speed over security, and usually the consequences of that play out quite
Hey,
quickly.
quarter of the hour. Really
Luckily
quick.
for us, there are always hackers somewhere looking
Damn
to
it.
crack cryptocurrency
Refresh.
networks
Damn it.
so they can trick them into creating new coins or tokens out of thin air to sell for a fancy profit. Now, this might sound scary, but it's no different to what happens to banks and corporations on a daily basis. When hackers succeed, the affected company usually beefs up its cybersecurity. The same goes for cryptocurrencies. This means that most cryptos that have been around for years are robustly battle-tested as a consequence of always being under attack by bad actors. If you're not convinced, well, consider this. As I mentioned earlier, some cryptocurrency networks are made up of computers spread out around the world that are constantly double-checking transaction histories and account balances. If you wanted to corrupt a cryptocurrency network, you would have to hack more than half of all the computers connected to the network at the same time in order to do it. This is impossible to do if you have a cryptocurrency network like Bitcoin that has millions of computers spread around the world. That said, some cryptocurrency networks have fewer computers processing transactions and are therefore more vulnerable to attack. The same rule applies to centralized cryptocurrency services like cryptocurrency exchanges, which is where most crypto hacks have happened. These are much easier and more lucrative to exploit than an individual cryptocurrency wallet, which is insanely secure. That's why you should always keep your crypto on your own personal wallet wherever possible, and only keep it on an exchange when you're trading or cashing out. And when it comes to self-custody, nothing beats a hardware wallet. I have a list of the best ones on the market, which you can watch by hitting that link in the top right. When it comes to criminal activities, it is true that ransom demands made by hackers often involve some kind of cryptocurrency. While the cryptocurrency these hackers demand is often Bitcoin, they almost always exchange that Bitcoin for a privacy-oriented cryptocurrency like Monero as soon as they can. This is because Bitcoin and most other cryptos have publicly viewable transactions and wallet balances. This makes Bitcoin transactions very easy to trace by authorities, even more than regular currencies. So it makes no sense for criminals to actively use and hold a currency that's so easily tracked. Cryptocurrencies like Monero are completely private, and even the US government can't crack its encryption, which is seriously impressive if you think about it. In sum then, the overwhelming majority of cryptocurrencies are not used for criminal purposes. There are just a handful of cryptos that are actively used by criminals. The real risk when it comes to crypto relates to investing. Cryptocurrencies are extremely volatile, meaning their prices can go up or down by up to 50% in a day. Investing too much in crypto can be extremely dangerous, especially when you push your luck with something called leverage trading, which basically uses borrowed money. That's why you should only invest what you're willing to lose and not a penny more. Not financial advice, of course. Assuming it hasn't been asked already, the next question that will land in your lap will be along the lines of, why are cryptocurrencies so volatile? What gives them any value to begin with? Here's my counter. What gives the money in your wallet or in your bank any value? Now, once upon a time, it was backed by gold, but that changed, and since then, all state-issued currencies around the world have been losing value. This is because the only thing that backs dollars and euros is ultimately the trust we have in the governments that issue those currencies, and that trust has been eroding.
Yeah, Harmony 1, A, B, C, D.
Not only that, but governments have been actively printing and manipulating their currencies to benefit themselves and the corporations that fund them.
You're not going to see it if I write the Discord, bro.
Person. This has caused record levels of inflation that incentivizes spending over saving, which leads to overconsumption and causes the sort of environmental catastrophes they claim to want to stop.
Look on screen, bro.
You can direct them to my video on the massive fiat Ponzi
in
if they want further context.
Watch this.
Anyways, after that rant, I usually go on to address the actual question. Cryptocurrencies are valuable because of what they do. Obviously, this value changes depending on which cryptocurrency we're talking about. Bitcoin has value because its BTC coin has an economic profile similar to gold. It has a maximum supply, and only a small amount of BTC is created each day, and that amount is cut in half every 4 years. Assuming demand for Bitcoin stays the same over time, this would lead to a doubling of Bitcoin's price every 4 years. However, demand for Bitcoin has increased over time as we realize how weak regular currencies can be, and this awareness has been enhanced by the current pandemic. As basic economics dictate, when something has a limited supply but the demand for it continues to increase, prices inevitably rise. Many investors also see Bitcoin as a safe place to park your capital outside of the current financial system, including me. One important thing to note is that most other cryptocurrencies are highly correlated to Bitcoin, meaning their prices are reliant on what BTC does. Even though that's the case, some cryptos such as Ethereum have insane value due to the utility they provide. The Ethereum network can be used to create those cryptocurrency tokens I was talking about earlier, and you can even create decentralized applications and websites that can't be censored or shut down. All transactions related to creating and moving tokens and interacting with these applications require Ether to pay for gas fees. This means the demand for ETH rises as the Ethereum network gains adoption, and Ethereum has seen some serious adoption.
So this is the stupidest thing in the whole world, and this confused the fuck out of me when I first got involved in crypto. I didn't know what the difference was between ETH, Ether, and Ethereum. They're all the same thing. And it's so fucking stupid that he literally just used all three to refer to it. ETH, Ether, and Ethereum. It's all the same thing.
Visa is testing payments on the
Kafefi.
Ethereum network using that USDC token I mentioned earlier. And the European Central Bank even issued a bond on the Ethereum blockchain. Now, the reason why the value of BTC, ETH, and every other cryptocurrency fluctuates so much each day is because basically nobody knows what these technologies are actually worth. The prices of stocks and gold and even regular currencies fluctuate every day for the same reason. But cryptocurrencies are much more volatile because what they do is revolutionary. Cryptocurrency networks make it possible to lend, save, and borrow without an identity, credit score, or bank. They make it possible to do business directly with other people without a middleman taking a cut, meaning service giants like Uber and tech giants like Facebook could become obsolete. They make it possible for communities to pool their funds together and vote on how they should be spent, which could eventually cut out the needs for governments and their crooked politicians. You could even say that cryptocurrencies are the equivalent of a powerful alien technology that threatens the dominance of the powers that be. Now, this potential makes the average crypto investor very emotional. The slightest possibility of a clampdown on crypto results in a market crash, and the most outlandish rumour can lead to a massive market pump. In the longer term, however, you can see that crypto is growing, and that growth is unlikely to stop anytime soon. Now, by this point in time, you've probably more or less convinced your cohort that crypto is pretty legit, and that means there's only one question they have left to ask you.
Where do I get it?
Which cryptocurrencies should I buy? Well, before you answer that question, you must remember to emphasize that nothing you tell them is financial or investment advice. Otherwise, you could end up in court if their crypto investments go south.
Bullshit. Bullshit. You would only end up in court if you were not a financial advisor and you said that you were a financial advisor and that you had a contract with them to give them financial advice. That's it. No one on the internet is going to get sued. Let me tell you how many people, Carl, how much money he's lost people. How much money Ben from BitBoy Crypto has lost people. How much money anybody that's recommended something has lost for people. Hey man, they don't get sued. They're not in on a contractual relationship with any of their audience members. And for this fucking idiot to sit here with that stupid look on his face and act like that literally what he does, he's justifying this stupid little disclaimer that he does before every show.
Now, by this point in time, you've probably more or less convinced your cohort that crypto is pretty legit, and that means there's only one question they have left to ask you. Which cryptocurrencies should I buy? Well, before you answer that question, you must remember to emphasize that nothing you tell them is financial or investment advice. Otherwise, you could end up in court if their crypto investments go south.
You know, just to hear him say that, you're just like, dude, no they won't. What are you, a fucking idiot? It's like if we go out to a casino and I go, hey man, last week I came here and I won $1,000 on that machine right there. So you go drop $5,000 in it. Well, you gave me financial advice. I'm suing you in court. No, you wouldn't sue. You wouldn't be able to sue that person in court. That's not a contract for of services rendered. Therefore, it doesn't hold up in court. You fucking idiot. I don't know what court he's fucking talking about. But the way he sits there with that stupid look on his face, like, oh, I know something that nobody else knows. No, man, you just made some stupid shit up, and you say it over and over again, and you think if you keep saying it over and over and over again, it's going to make it fucking true.
And even if you're legally covered, you could still find yourself eating a knuckle sandwich or two if your guidance directs their greed to a financial gutter. That's why I usually respond with the following. Which cryptocurrencies you decide to invest in boils down to your timeline and risk tolerance. In terms of timeline, the cryptocurrency market seems to follow a 4-year cycle. We're currently in the bull market phase, which is where prices gradually rise.
Happy
The
420,
crypto bull
cheers,
market could end as soon as this fall and as late as early 2022. And the likelihood that you will sell your cryptocurrencies when they're at their highest prices is slim to none. Although most cryptos have seen most of their gains for this bull market, a 2 to 3x return on investment is still possible. And it's even more likely if you decide to hold until the next crypto bull market. Fun fact, buying and holding cryptocurrency will give you about the same amount of profit as actively trading crypto, which I don't recommend you do unless you plan on making it your full-time job. When it comes to risk tolerance, it might sound a bit funny considering cryptocurrencies are risky investments, but there are varying degrees of risk even within the crypto
or blueberry, whatever the fuck it is.
Logically, the more risk you're willing to take, the greater reward you stand to gain.
It didn't taste like a seed, though.
Now, the easiest way to measure risk and reward is to look at a cryptocurrency's market cap. This is an extremely important metric to check because the dollar value of cryptocurrencies can be misleading. A cryptocurrency's market cap is calculated by the current value of that coin or token times its circulating supply. The reason why Dogecoin is ranked so high is because it has a circulating supply of 130 billion. And when you multiply that by Dogecoin's 30-cent price, you get a $40+ billion market cap. Now, you might think that Dogecoin presents you with an easy opportunity to get rich quick, but getting to just $1 would require an additional $80 billion of active investment, and that isn't all that likely to happen. As a rule of thumb, the smaller the market cap, the more potential that cryptocurrency has to grow, regardless of its dollar value. That's because it takes less money to increase its value. Now, to use an extreme example, Yearn Finance's Wi-Fi token is worth more than Bitcoin, but its market cap is 20 times smaller than Dogecoin's, meaning it would take less capital to push up the price of Wi-Fi. With the exception of Dogecoin and a couple of others, most of the cryptocurrencies in the top 10 by market cap could be considered low-risk investments. Cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Cardano are likely to be around for many years, and they will likely double, if not triple in price before this bull market is over. The other 90 cryptocurrencies in the top 100 could still see gains of 3 to 5x, but the further you move down the list, the riskier the investment becomes because it also takes less capital to crash their price. I would personally stay away from any crypto that isn't among the top 200 by market cap because most of the quality projects have already come out of the woodwork, and going any further is just gambling. If you come across any cryptocurrencies that spark your interest, you can learn about those by watching videos about them on an awesome cryptocurrency YouTube.
Oh god, his self-promotion is so fucking corny. All right, so that is a really good explainer, a basic explainer on crypto, man. That was good. I was looking for something like that. Really does get into just the basics. Hey Tommy, what's up? Tommy Walker. And I feel it's very important for everyone to just, and myself included, to just hear all the, because, you know, you start getting into intricacies of it, and it starts getting a little bit more complicated, and there's a lot of, you know, that Dapp University, he's talking about all different aspects of the market. And hey, Mr. Judo01, what's up, buddy? Les Bones. I believe Les Bones is here. Quicksword, Pooh God. Ramsey, Lamp 1125, Mr. Judo 01, Ramsey, Radical Leftist Agenda. Where Pilgrim, what's up, Radical Leftist Agenda, my friend? Lester Bones, Seymour, Pooh God. Pooh. It's like a poo hawk. Mr. Judo 01, Radical Leftist Agenda. Hey, Radical Leftist Agenda, did you just raid me? Did you just raid me? Are these your people? They don't talk, do they? Yeah, poo is an excrement. Exactly. Yes, I agree. Like poop. Like a bird flying over going, poo, poo, as it poops on your car. That's what I meant. I think you misunderstood me. You did, Radical? Yeah? You're too sweet to me. Thank you so much. Were you game? And Adam, what's up, son? I respect all birds who shit on cars, too. You know? Adam, what's up, Adam? Buying crypto safely, complete beginner's guide. How does a blockchain work? Simply explained. You know, we basically already understand blockchain. It's a whole bunch of computers connected together, right? It's a network of computers. That's all it is. It's not rocket science. But you know what is rocket science? I want you guys to hear this. History. I respect all birds who shat on cars. I respect them all as they shit on the cars and do the things they do. What I know that you don't know. Okay, not that one. I think we're going to go with everything you need to know about crypto and how to gain wealth in the Bitcoin revolution, Raul Paul. That one, is that the one where he was talking about Saylor? Michael Saylor may become the richest man ever. I don't like all these ones that have B-roll. I hate the fucking B-roll. I don't like the B-roll. I don't like the B-roll. I do not like the B-roll. Bitcoin is a Trojan horse. Yeah, it is for the Fed and for banks. It is a Trojan horse. Taking a break, putting together IKEA! IKEA! Night at the Roxbury. I broke the window again. Dad's gonna be pissed. I don't care. Does it? You lost a part. Does it matter? And I can't. Well, you'll find out when you put an expensive vase on that IKEA cabinet and it falls off. Then you'll know that it mattered. At that point, you'll know. Only then will you know. Let's do big bong rips and talk about stuff. No law regarding cannabis. Cannabisism tism for all. Cheers. You guys want to hear what a guy with half a $1 billion has to say about crypto? Check this out. Belegu.
Our job in macro is to live in the future, and we look for the big trends. or the big turning points, because that's when we make all of our money. The big trends in this world may have been the rise of cryptocurrencies, the recent rise of commodity markets based on supply disruptions that everybody's read about. Or it could be the rise of technology and how that impacts the NASDAQ. Then our job is to live between 6 months and 2 years into the future, to imagine what the world could be like, and then assess the probabilities of how it would get there, and then you place bets accordingly. It's a really amazing world of this, the world's most complex 3D jigsaw puzzle that you try and solve, and occasionally it all comes together, dissolves again, and you have to start all over again. So it's a huge intellectual challenge to put all...
So there's at one point where he's talking, and it's not this video, it's another video, right? I've got it. Hold on one second. It's another video, and he's talking about how crypto will change the fucking world. Here. How it'll change everything. You know, we were talking about this earlier where Killer GB says...
Be broad, be open.
Killer GB was saying it's just a storage of wealth. Now, this guy's got $500 million. His net worth is 500, almost, it's like 470 million, this guy. I looked it up. Because I was like, this guy sounds like he really knows what he's talking about. I wonder what he's worth. $500 million.
So walk people through, what is it, and let's start with Bitcoin, because I want to take cares to differentiate between Bitcoin and Ethereum.
And shouts out, this dude has both Captain America and Batman action figures behind him on the wall. Can't touch this, as far as I'm concerned. He's a god.
And I guess full disclosure to anybody listening, I invest in essentially 3 things: Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Chainlink. I'm a use case maximalist, I guess. And I understand those 3. I'm not saying they're the only 3. I'm saying they're the only 3 I understand well enough to invest in. What is it that makes Bitcoin interesting enough that so many smart people see this as ultrasound money? And what does ultrasound money mean?
The world has a history of money, whether it's backed by gold or not, where government gets themselves excessively into debt and they devalue the money. So the Romans used to clip the edge off the coins so there was less gold in each coin. And eventually people would lose faith in the coins because they blend them with silver and then blend them with copper, and the coins were worthless because that was supposed to be worth the value of the denarii in Roman times. But governments can't help themselves. Humans, we're just humans, right? Humans are fundamentally flawed creatures, and we always will be. So then we have the gold standards. The US and the UK are on gold standards. World War One, World War Two, we all have to leave it because we've got too much in debt again. We've overly financialized yet again because humans love leverage above all things. It's kind of sex and leverage are the 2 things that drive humans for some reason. Then we adopt a new system, which has been around before, but it keeps getting abandoned, called fiat money. Fiat money is money not backed by anything. It's backed by the promise of the central bank paying it. So that's the dollar bill that we all are familiar with, and every country in the world now adopted fiat currency. But as with everything, if you're really thirsty and I gave you a bottle of water or sold it to you, you'd probably pay me 10 times too much for that bottle of water. If I give you 1 million bottles of water, they're worth precisely 0 to you. So scarcity has value. And that's art, that's cars, that's almost anything. Humans value scarcity for whatever reason we do. And so if you're printing too much money, you're creating less scarcity. So yes, there's money everywhere.
Mark's cutting his plants down.
So once you understand that, you say,
Mark's harvesting,
what
guys.
does it mean? The dollar hasn't collapsed. It's kind of where it was versus the euro in the last 5 years or whatever it is. And then you say, but my $50,000 salary now can buy me much less shares in Apple, Amazon, Google, Microsoft. In fact, units of the S&P 500, I suddenly can't buy as much. Since 2008, it's a fraction. I can buy like 1/3 of what I could. Same with real estate. Same with gold. And then you're like, assets have suddenly got expensive. They haven't.
So call
The
Mark.
value of your savings has gone down.
Are the tracks ready? Yeah, they're ready.
So you can't afford.
I've been smoking
to buy
this shit for
assets.
weeks,
What is an
bro.
asset?
I've been
An
smoking
asset
this shit
is
for weeks.
deferred
It's ready.
Consumption. From
Trust
the
me,
future.
I get high as
I buy a
fuck when I
house.
smoke it.
I sell it in the future. I get to retire. Whatever the things are, right? We don't buy the S&P because we want to hang it up in our wall. We buy it because we want to sell it at a future date to realize money. So that means our future selves are now poorer. That's essentially what this means. That's what currency debasement is. So Bitcoin comes along in 2008, in the middle of the crisis. It's kind of like it was perfectly prepared for this and said, Satoshi goes, hey, look at this. I can create an algorithm that only creates so much of this thing, the Bitcoin, and it can never vary, ever. So therefore, this is scarcity that humans can't fuck around with. Now, humans have this propensity to fuck around with scarcity because they're economically incentivized to do so. Here they can't. So then they become economically incentivized to own this asset because it's scarce and it cannot be changed because it has this consistent supply curve and a limited number. So Bitcoin becomes this great store of value. And it would look like gold because gold's a good store of value. It's worked for thousands of years. But Bitcoin has this other thing to it. It's a network, which gold isn't, and it's technology, which gold isn't. So we have use cases and the benefits of building a network. So suddenly it goes up exponentially in price. Roll on to 2015, and suddenly somebody's looking at the blockchain and they start saying, imagine if these bits on the blockchain, which is where you record the ownership of something, in Bitcoin, it's Bitcoin itself. What happens if we could put a contract in there? Because humans live on contracts. You know, everything is basically a contract in our legal terms. And that was the rise of Ethereum. It became a platform where you could programmably change the blockchain. Not the attributes of the blockchain. You couldn't remove anything off that ledger, but you could change the little holding buckets and say, well, it can look like this, it can look like that, it can adopt to this. And those things were verifiable as well, so they couldn't change. So this created Ethereum, which became the platform. So if you think of Bitcoin as this store of value, this very pristine, beautiful thing, then you think of Ethereum as also a very beautiful thing, but it's a much broader application because it's like programmable money.
Yeah, there's one concept that I want to nail down here, and if you think I'm crazy, let me know. But when I think about, so I've worked in the inner cities a lot, and you begin to realize, wait a second, the generational poverty is a mindset knowledge problem far more than it's a money problem, because they manage to pass on a likelihood of being poor. And so when you think about, okay, well, right now in the US for sure, and I would imagine most of the Western world, that your zip code is the number one predictor of your future success, more than your IQ, which I'm just not willing to live in that world. But that's a really fascinating phenomenon. And when you begin to ask the question, how is that possible? So you have extraordinarily smart people that regardless of their IQ are going to be trapped in a poverty cycle. Why is that? And some of it has to do with what a guy named Geoffrey Canada discovered in terms of the language centers of your brain. And if you're not hearing enough words when you're an infant, just the language centers don't develop well, and you can have a hard time interviewing for jobs and climbing the sort of traditional corporate ladder in that way. And then they just also help you with communication. But the other part is what I call your frame of reference. What do you believe to be true about yourself and about the world? And one of the ideas that fails to get passed on in that poverty cycle is an idea of ownership. And once you understand ownership, now you get into that cycle that you're talking about where you can sell something in the future because you own it today, and you hopefully buy low and then sell high. And that really is like just the dead simple equation. And I just a plant a flag that we'll come back to, hold all these ideas in my head. You had mentioned earlier as like a throwaway that a lot of wealth was generated in the collapse and of the economy. And so I want people to understand that this is a game, and I don't mean that in any sort of derogatory way, but it has rules. And if you understand those rules, there's always an opportunity, especially in moments of disruption. And we're living through this incredible technological disruption right now. Okay, so back to this idea of ownership. So when I look at Bitcoin, what I see is something that I can own, right? There will only ever be 21 million of these. Now, like anything, as Yuval Noah Harari says, even money is just a story, right? It's a fiction that we all tell, and it only has value when we agree that it has value. So Bitcoin has that same sort of Achilles heel, that if tomorrow everybody stopped believing that owning that has any value, then it would have no value. But we have this ultra scarce thing that the last 10 years have proven people believe has value, and you can own a piece of that. And as we go, if it is true that more and more people will pour into this digitization of economic value, essentially, then those 21 million units are going to become hyper scarce and hyper valuable. Now, the great news is that you can fractionalize it, so you don't have to own one. You can own some tiny fraction of it. But now you have ownership. So you're able to buy something now that you can own as it appreciates in value, and then you can sell it later. And so it becomes just this buy and wait game that real estate maybe still is, but that's why real estate has worked over time. You owned it. You could also live in it, which is certainly advantageous. And then the expectation was that it would go up in value. When I think about Ethereum, at first I was like, okay, I like how much, we haven't named Metcalfe's law. You've talked about it, but how you can value something based on its network adoption curve. And so I could see there was something going there. And then when I got into NFTs, I realized I just had to buy a bunch of Ethereum to use it. And so I was like, okay, well, wait a second. If I'm over here like scrambling just to buy it to spend it, I'm like, this is me being able to buy into the dollar when it's like new and nobody's sure if we're going to use it. I thought, whoa, I would take that opportunity. So that's how I see the difference in the two. One is just sort of straight ownership of something, and then one is like, well, I know people use this, and because people use it and there's controls around the supply, that the odds are that it will go up in value.
Ethereum's kind of like owning a part of the internet. It's, as you said, I mean, everybody has to use Ethereum basically that uses this crypto rails, unless you're just in the Bitcoin world. But everything that we talked about, and everybody will have, even if you're not very familiar with the space, will have heard the term DeFi or NFTs or tokens. Basically, most of that is still being built on Ethereum. And as you said, the network, so what is this Metcalfe's law that you and I have referred to? Metcalfe's law is, it really started to become understood in the 80s, and then much more so as mobile phone networks started, these giant connected networks, right? Because digital technology allowed networks to connect. Before it's humans, we couldn't connect with each other in the same way. So networks connect with mobile phones, suddenly they explode in value. All these phone companies, huge companies. And if you added them all up around the world, they'd be worth tens of trillions probably. We just don't even think of it in those terms because they're fragmented networks. Then the internet comes along, this free network, and everybody builds on top of it, and they create network effects. Like the most classic example is Facebook. Facebook connects us with friends and family, and in exchange...
So funny that he mentions Facebook. And now Facebook, does he say it's literally coming out with, it's already released Novi, which will be the largest bank in the world?
They get your data, they sell you adverts, and so you've got a bunch of people using it, a bunch of businesses now building on it, and this advertising monetization structure. Shareholders get rich, you and I get to, unfortunately, meet somebody from university that we don't want to talk to, that we met 20 years ago, and we're now connected with again. It's that. But the network that Ethereum and Bitcoin does is different. You're the owner of the network and the user. So as a user, like you said, with the NFT, you're actually owning a share of the network itself. So everybody uses it, owns a part of it. Therefore, if the network's going to get used a lot, you're all going to get rich. And the value of the
So it's kind of like communism where everybody gets rich.
network's going to go up massively.
And nobody has to work.
The more people build interconnections, so the Metcalfe's law is not only just the number of nodes, i.e. the number of users, but how much they connect with each other. Well, you're seeing it because there's NFTs and there's DeFi and there's all of these applications, or the store of money aspect. These things all together, and then there's the linking all of these, like Chainlink or some of these other protocols, Polkadot. They're linking all this ecosystems together. So I can send you $1 instantaneously, and we have no idea whether it went on Bitcoin rails, XRP rails, Ethereum rails, and guess what? We don't care. I promised you $1, you want to get the dollar instantaneously. That's interoperability, that's all coming. So this is what Ethereum is about. It's the magnitude of this network. where everybody's developing everything on top of it, and it's scarce supply. So it's seeing an even faster adoption rate than Bitcoin now, for the reasons that seem pretty clear, because it has more use cases than currently the Bitcoin blockchain does. Doesn't mean Bitcoin blockchain can't in due course, but right now there's a lot more use cases in Ethereum. It's super exciting.
Do you think that Bitcoin would need to do something like that in order to retain its value proposition?
No, I think its value proposition stands above all things. It is pristine, it's pure, it is what it is. And you know, the way it's so impossible to change any of the attributes of Bitcoin makes it a bit clunky. And that clunkiness is its beauty. It is so secure, it's the most secure of all protocols. So let it be what it wants to be. Now, people are building things like the Lightning layer, which allows you to do lots of fast payments over the top.
Lightning.
Maybe that scales, maybe it doesn't. It doesn't really matter. That store of value for every person to think of, like it's owning a piece of Manhattan real estate at low prices, that's never going away. Not in the conceivable
Steve
future,
Ronning.
because humans have now said it has value and it's being adopted very fast. So, no, Ethereum's a very different thing. It doesn't compete. That's how I like to think about it. And unfortunately, when you go online, people will tell you, well, it's competing and it's not as good. You have to ignore all of that and look at the whole space overall.
Thank
and say,
you, Prophet
just be
Gussie.
honest,
I'm
we
honored.
don't know where this is going to be in 10 years' time. And like you say, so therefore I can own 3 of these things. And probability is I'm going to capture a large part of this, and maybe I'll adapt in due course. And so,
Yeah, one thing. Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, so it's don't overforce the narrative. Just be broad, be open, and always be learning, as you rightly said, because we don't know. This is all new, and it's happening at lightning speed.
Yeah, that's the thing that I am certainly most attracted to.
Speed of technology. Listen to this.
Important.
The internet from 1990 to 2000 grew at 63% a year. That was the fastest adoption of any technology in all recorded history. Prior to that, mobile phones was the other one. But what happens is the internet technology and the mobile phone technology allows for these networks to be built.
Billy, did you catch that statistics? 63% and the other one. This man's got his facts buttoned down, pal.
And once that network's in place, it's faster to build the next network. So in India, for example, they've just basically given out free data to every mobile phone in India. So guess what? Data usage is the highest in the world. And
Free-
so their
free
internet
da-
scaling becomes faster.
Free data.
So the internet was huge, as we all
Nice.
know, and it remains huge. So at 63% a year, it then flattened out over time as more and more people got
I wish
adopted.
we had free data.
So at 1997, it was growing at 63% a year, and there was 140 million users of the internet. In 2021, there are 140 million crypto users, and it's growing at 113% a year.
Jesus.
Double the speed. Now, this is where humans struggle. Linear numbers and exponential numbers. Because it's exponential, it means that growing at 113% a year, we're going to go from 140 million people to 1 billion people by 2024. I mean,
So
so
crazy.
A theater room.
so when you go back and how you introduced all of this,
Billy, I've got a theater room downstairs, man, and there's a lobby. In the lobby, there's a billiards, there's a pool table and a drum set. You walk in, there'll be all the movie posters, and then you go in, and there's that 100-inch projection screen with recording studio sound
so if you know
with a
that
couch.
something is being adopted at this speed, and it's a networking of money at its core, and you can buy an infinitesimal fraction of it, so everybody can buy 10% of their net worth, then everybody who takes this
Hey,
opportunity
hey,
will
Viva.
probably have the biggest
You have
opportunity in history.
Pretty dry. You cut it all down.
Just mine 3, but I should
Hey
help you
guys,
with
hope you
yours.
enjoyed the episode.
Did you
I should
leave?
help you with yours.
Did you leave any little sprouts on your plants a little
I
bit?
left some sprouts on it, but I let the plants, the stalks in there and everything, because I thought maybe let them they might be a little shocked from cutting branches and all, but let them come out of it and grow them through the winter. Let them go to flower and get seeds from them. They're good stalks.
Or did you put them in the cab? Or they're not out in the bed, right? They're not sitting out, or they in the rain.
What's that?
The plants that you cut down.
Oh, you mean when I cut off of them?
Yeah.
They're in totes.
Are they covered? They're not getting wet, right?
No, they're not getting wet.
Okay, cool.
But this is where I think we should take yours down too.
Yeah.
You know why?
Why?
It's gonna be too long before we see sun. They won't dry out enough. They'll stay wet and they'll start getting
Moldy.
They'll go the other way. Yeah. They're
Well,
right now.
blew-
They're as good as we can get.
I blew them off with a blower.
But I know. But I mean, just for how much rain is in the air, even though that's drying
Yeah,
air,
you're right. It's
even
going
though
to be
it's
really
drying
humid.
air, it'll pull the moisture right to the plant.
Yeah. Oh, I got to put up hangers. I don't want to come down until I got wires up. I got to put wires up in the garage.
Okay,
I'll
I'll go
next.
hang these, and if you want me to come back, I'll help you with the wires.
All right. It's just nets. It's easy, man. They're all out there. I just got to string them up.
Yeah, if you think about it,
Just
they won't
three
see
of 'em.
sun, and they won't get enough. They'll always be moist, and they'll go the other way.
Right.
So we don't want that.
Right.
Um,
Are you taking that to Lily's?
no.
Oh.
My car trader, my enclosed car trader.
Oh, okay.
Because
Okay.
it's nice and dry, it's cold, dark, but
Yeah, that would be perfect.
Yeah.
It's like a wine cellar.
it is.
Yeah.
And it doesn't let the moisture in from outside, from like the rain.
Perfect. You got something to hang it with in there? Wire?
I already got like this. I already got my wire going crisscross already.
Oh,
I
see, that's
already
what I
got
need
rows
to-
of hangers on them. I'm ready to go, brother.
It's awesome.
I'm
Shit
gonna come help
smells
you.
good, man.
Yeah, no. He doesn't like the bud.
No, he
only
likes leaves. Right.
I try to give him a little tiny buddy, man. Yeah.
He didn't want to get high. He's like, I don't want to get high. I've seen that stuff before. Do it. I thought you were.
And even if you have a fan on him or you shake him off.
Mark, he's like, wow. Billy says, wow. Billy's your biggest fan, by the way. He says, wow, Mark's wound up, huh?
Hey, no, 24/7 wound up.
He says, Mark sounds smart. Ask him his stance on the shelf life of crab.
You know what? I don't eat seafood, so I would say the shelf life of crab is very nil.
Very, very nil. Perfect. You're right. Nil. That shit needs to be on ice.
He likes my answer.
Once it sits
I
out
don't
on a
even-
bench, it's done.
I don't even eat it, and I don't fish it.
Once it's exposed to air, it's done. Once it unrefrigerates, it can't be
Let's see how
refrigerated.
smart he is today. What about Ockman's razor?
It's
No, see, he
it's,
has to
it's
know.
Occam's.
Ockman's razor, yeah.
Yeah,
Let's see if he knows it.
Ockman's.
Ockman's razor.
Occam.
Ask him if he knows it.
He knows Occam's razor.
He knows he?
Yeah, he's Billy fucking Ballantyne, bro. He's the guy that built the
He's surprised you
the
wouldn't
brain, that brain in there that when you say computer it talks and shit
know. Oh,
back to
he
you.
built that, but
He built that thing. Remember that thing with the
But
little
did he
switch
have
on
the
it?
computer look up all the shit he needed to put on it, or did he do it?
He's pretty smart.
Is he off?
Mark's trying to bet. I think you guys are gonna be playing chess or something. You guys want to play online chess? Have a chess game.
I don't have time.
See who
How about
wins.
Ockman's razor?
He wants you to know if you know Occam's razor, Billy. He keeps asking. He's like, Occam's razor, Occam's razor.
Many people know it.
Everybody knows it.
They do.
Yeah.
You told them all.
Yeah, we talked about it like 2 days ago. I even looked it up and read them the definition. Billy may not have been in the show though. It's Occam's razor, and my opinion is you should try to shave with it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. How about Grey Lackey? How about Grey Lackey?
So,
Does the name come from? How about? It's a three-part question.
it
Grey Lackey. Did it come from the archaeologist after his name, Bill Lackey, Richard Lackey, or did it come after the name of Gray because the material's gray, but it's a rock and it's called Grey Lackey. But what really is it? The answer is what?
how is he gonna know that?
Well, if you knew his stones, and he knew his aliens, and he knew his archaeological finds, he would know what Grey Lackey is.
Did you hear that, Billy? I hope you got your headphones on, bro.
There was a Richard Leakey.
Leaky. I like that name.
He was an
Leaky.
archaeologist from like around 1946 to 76, maybe. His peak years were probably 50s and 60s.
He just called you Trebek.
Trebek.
He says, "Fuck you, Trebek."
Who's Trebek?
Alex Trebek, the host of fucking the host of
I don't watch TV, so I don't know who he is.
he died. Host of
Then I will never know.
you'll know the name of this one. what was it called? Jeopardy. The game on TV.
I
Jeopardy.
know that show.
Probably the longest running game show of all time. I wouldn't be surprised if Jeopardy's the longest running game show of all time. Well, let's Google
What
that
about
shit.
The Price is Right? That's a pretty long running game show.
Jeopardy might be older though. I don't know.
The Price is Right has been around a while.
Yeah, Price is Right, man. I know this song.
Dialing for dollars.
I go. You know when someone loses.
Dialing for dollars.
Do you know? Realize when they lose, it's a theme on. It's a variation on the theme of the theme song, because it's da 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 bum bum ba ba da 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 ba na 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 ba na ba na ba na bum bum ba 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 na ba ba bum bum ba ba. Right? That's the theme song. But when you lose, it goes on that. It goes bum 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 bum. Instead of going bum 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 bum, it goes bum 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 bum.
Who came up with that idea?
Dude, there's a praying mantis in the grow. Did you see it?
No, but I
was
saw
showing-
someone else down there praying.
It was right up on that post. You
They're-
probably walked under it like a
This
million
is the time
times.
of year they meet.
Yeah, I think that was like a month ago.
How long can a praying mantis female and male be entwined and drinking love?
Dude, at least 48 hours.
Yeah,
At least.
It's 24 hours.
Yeah, because I've seen them outside, dude, for so long. I got a video. I showed you. I
And
got
like the Black Widow,
a picture. This one, she was eating and mating at the
a
same time.
true or false question. Like the Black Widow, is the praying mantis female after having sex eat the male?
Yes.
Ding 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 ding! You want
And let me tell you this. Not only does she, but she left her fucking boyfriend's fucking body parts all out there. Every time she eats somebody, every time one of them girls would eat one of them boys, there'd be wings and shit down there. I'd be like, you were partying last night and you got your head ate. They eat their heads. They fucking eat their heads. Grab them by their head.
Give a little head, take a little head.
The rest of this is no good. Throw those wings down there.
That's what they do. They
Wings are
the
no
male to
good.
the male.
No protein.
You give a little head,
I need the brains. Brains. I need brains. Like all my pet spiders. Catch a fly.
A catch a
And
fly.
I have to pick which.
Where are they from?
The flies.
No, the catch a fly.
Where are they from?
The catch a fly, yeah. Where's he from?
Where's catch a fly from, Billy?
That's what you just said. The catch a fly. I didn't know what kind of breed that was.
No, you know what I said. You know exactly what I said. And I said, I've got this right here.
What's the lifespan of a fly?
I got peppermint spray, man, and I'll shoot a fly down with my peppermint spray. I'll pick them up, and I'll throw them in the web, and I'll watch the spiders eat them, dude. And they're getting all big. Look at how muscular the spiders are getting. My spiders are getting all big and shit.
Well, you think
They're
the-
bowing up.
You think the Google people that do the information on different things, you think they got their information wrong about the length of time a fly lives? Because if you Google it, they'll say, yeah, about 24 hours. But I would have to say that's horse crap, because when you got one locked in your car, or you're on vacation, and every time you get in your car, 3 days, 4 days later, that same motherfucker flies in the window bugging you. So he's been living for at least 72 hours. So I beg to differ.
Kevin says she only eats 60% of her mates. Yeah, I've seen
Yeah,
guys get
how
away.
long?
I've seen some slick pimps get away, bro. Totally seen slick pimps get away. I'm like, dude, right on, bro. You lived to tell the story, man. How was it?
I don't eat 60%.
Your head's, you still got your head? You kept your head together.
That's kind of like people. That's normal.
Anyway, there's something in this one video where he says that crypto will, and we were talking about this on the earlier show, and it backs me up with this $500 million guy says crypto will enhance every single aspect of technology, every single aspect of business out there. It's going to speed up transactions. It'll give people easier ways to pay for things, and so much more besides that. And businesses will literally thrive and explode, and there will be just a lot more potential. And that's the thing he was talking about. But I don't know where exactly in this one. It's kind of a lengthy interview. Tom Bilyeu is his name. He's got 2.4 million subscribers. Can you believe that guy's got 2. He's got Batman and Captain America. Batman and Captain America action figures behind him. He's got 2.4 awesome. Cool. I'll go hang those nets up in the garage. It's just I wasn't too crazy about bringing them across the yard in the rain.
You need any extra hangers?
Any what?
Hangers. They go on your line.
No.
Or you hang it just on your line.
Yeah, I just put it right on the netting because I got nets out there. Hopefully. Hopefully. Beezel! Did you have fun, Beezel? Man, those 3 of those plants are down, guys. 3 down, 3 to go. He's taking them all. So it's sad to see him go. That fucking wedding cake. The good news is he lives right around the corner, and I'm sure after he cures it, he'll bring me some. I'll just tell him tonight. I'll be like, dude, don't trim it, man. Just leave the leaves on them. I hope he fucking knows how to cure that shit right, man. He could just totally fuck it all up. You know? Ugh. Might turn it into freaking dust. Dave C. Fishing, what's up with Bond Loaded? What? Why are you mentioning Bond Loaded, man? What's up with him? Oh, wow, man. 2 children killed, 8 people injured when a car lost control at Texas Drag Race. That reminds me of that scene from, Final Destination, dude. Final Destination? The one with the NASCAR crash. Holy shit. There's nothing. Let's see what this guy says about going to a Trump rally. It's like, I went to a Trump rally. This is what happened. This is what I saw at a Trump rally. Let's find out what he saw at a Trump rally. I just lost 3 out of 6 plants. 17 car crash. Oh my god. Why? What was it, raining really bad or something? Holy shit. What's that all about?
My last Trump rally was January 6th. Have you seen any gallows go up anywhere?
Nope.
Do you think Mike Pence will show up here today, or does he not want to hang?
Oh, I think he would be afraid to show up here today.
Yeah, why is that?
Because he was a coward. He didn't do the right thing. That's why.
Or because these people tried to kill?
You know, people say, oh, Trump's it's a cult, blah, blah, blah. But I feel like cult is such a negative word. We are not a cult. We are a group of Americans that love our country and want it back.
Are there any old hits or things you hope he goes back to?
Old hits.
Oh gosh, I feel like whatever he spews out of his mouth, I just love it.
I feel that whatever he spews out of his mouth, I just love it. That was perfect. And yeah, it doesn't matter, does it, hun? And it is spew. And she knows it, and she literally says that. And that's what she thinks about Donald Trump, is that when he speaks, he's spewing like when somebody vomits. And that's how she looks at it. And she's a supporter of him.
I just love.
It doesn't matter what he says.
Yeah, we're gonna love it. I love being here. We're gonna love hearing what he has to say.
But this isn't a cult.
No, I don't think so.
Oh my god, that is so funny. But this isn't a cult. No, it's not a cult. Hey, whatever the man spews, I love. But it's not a cult, right? Dude, I love shit like this.
Now is the man who bravely travels to the MAGAverse and back, contributor for The Daily Show, the great Jordan Klepper. Jordan, so good to have you back. Thanks so much. We just heard they don't think it's a cult, but when you were just walking around, we saw some very weird stuff, not the least of which was a flag with Trump riding a velociraptor, firing a machine gun. That seems kind of cult-like. What else were you seeing at this rally?
Well, definitely there was the new merch. I've been to enough of these where Donald Trump on a velociraptor with an AR is no longer that surprising. There were, though, quite a few Confederate flags, which was strange in Des Moines. There was a flag that was an American flag with a hand that came down, lifting it, and behind it was a Confederate flag. And everybody was dressed to the nines to stand in a field for up to 12 hours to listen to the man speak. I even saw someone selling women's pee funnels so that if people didn't want to leave their space in line to go use the restroom, they could urinate right there. Which, to me, when you're peeing in a field waiting for the leader to speak, you may be closer to a cult than you think. Is that a Q?
Yeah,
Are you a Q supporter?
certainly.
Wasn't Q's whole thing that Trump would be reinstated as president?
He's never left. There's no doubt in my mind, 150,000%.
That he's still president of the United States? Really? Does he still hold the powers of the presidency?
Well, he's been flying around the world on Air Force
Enoch,
One.
what's up?
Says something.
I thought Joe Biden's
People coming over the hill didn't have time to react to the debris.
So they're faking it?
Yeah, it's not even.
No one
President.
died. Good.
Who is running the government right now?
President
Yo,
Trump.
He's ready to
Enoch,
go.
Billy,
And
2 pea
military.
funnels, please.
And he's running the military. So we should blame him for what happened in Afghanistan.
No,
But it's still his fault.
it's way beyond my.
Understanding.
Thank
Thank you for talking to me, George. Enjoy seeing current President Trump.
My head hurts. I'm speechless. Jordan, help me out here.
I can.
Do you run into people?
I can help you out, Jim Acosta. Here it is. Stupid people have found a new home. Low IQ people and racists have found a family that they can all stick together and barbecue with. And you know, it goes from the Confederate flag to a fucking swastika, guys, and it's not a far jump.
People at these rallies, because I found my experience going to the rallies, and I thought it was the
I'm
best way to
Kathy. I'm
understand
so
the Trump
sad.
movement in this country was to go to the rallies. And do you run into people who sort of, with a wink and a nod, acknowledge that a lot of this stuff is just bullcrap? Or, do you get the sense that this is even more across the board, the belief in these types of crazy conspiracy theories?
I will say I've only been back to this one now. This is the first one since January 6th. This one felt different than the ones prior to that. Like occasionally, yeah, you would run into people who are attending a rally because rallies are fun. It's the big circus that comes into town. It's the giant fair, so people show up. You run into some people who understand some of the chaos and might not be Q believers, wouldn't be caught wearing a Q hat, and might talk some of the talking points, but want to just be there and be a part of it. I was surprised at this one where I was not running into those people. It felt like already like the Q emblems that we saw, whether or not people were actually attempting to follow Q, it at least was a new symbol that just meant we don't believe the information you're telling us. And almost everyone we talked to was a member and all into that group. So again, this is the first time out for us, and the election's 1,000 days away. He hasn't even announced that he's running yet, but already it's not just people who are happy to be there and cosplaying for the fun of it. People seem to already be that much further along on the information and the misinformation train.
God damn, that's fucking scary, man. So I wonder how vast that group of people is. I wonder how many people are supporting Trump today.
Donald Trump announcing Truth Social, this business venture he has where he's getting an infusion of cash, and he says he's launching a social media operation. It looks just like Twitter.
I'll be right back, guys. I'll make this full screen for you.
He also says he's going to launch a media platform, maybe make TV shows. But the big news, Philip, was, okay, he is actually going to launch a version of Twitter. He says he's doing it. He's raising a lot of money doing it. He has lots of Trump fans buying into his stock. Should the press take this seriously?
It would be very easy to discredit this, right? Because you could
argue, and a lot of people already have. They say it's a joke. Dismiss it.
Absolutely. It would be easy to dismiss it as a joke because, Donald Trump arguably has not created a successful business. Running a social media platform is a business, and it's not an easy business. However, I think that would be just as much of a mistake as dismissing his candidacy for presidency, and we all saw that was something that should have been taken seriously. And there is a lot of potential here. You have a man who is the de facto leader of 75 million Americans who feel very strongly about him, who feel very strongly about their freedoms, who are very upset about the fact that he's been kicked off these platforms, and him having a direct tie to his audience that no one can police is a very, very scary thought.
So where do we end up, Oliver? Where are we going to be a year from now? If he launches this thing, where are we going to be? Just even more one America, two different worlds, split right down, this just no overlap at all?
I mean, if it succeeds, perhaps you see some sort of more of a splintering of the information.
Oh, you're skeptical. You said if he succeeded.
I have a hard. I mean, this is coming from the person who couldn't even manage to run a successful blog for more than a month, right?
Okay.
So, and this has been tried time and time again. There are a lot of people who have put a lot of money into trying to create a right-wing social media platform, and they have really not succeeded so far. So I would say in the skeptical camp here. But if anyone can do it, maybe it is the former president. He has this big built-in base. We'll see if he can actually pull it off. Right when he launched it, it was immediately hacked and defaced. So again, I'm in the skeptical category. If he does launch it, I think it will really, again, just splinter the information economy even further.
Well, when he said he's going to launch TV shows, I thought, that exists. It's called Fox News. Trump TV exists. It's called Newsmax and One American News. Yeah. It's an incredibly crowded market. I mean, don't you find that, Philip? You track this world. It's in a very crowded space.
Yeah, it is. It's just, I'm curious. There's always going to be this appetite for things that people want to hear, right? And, part of the reason that Facebook is so successful is because people hear the things they want and then they can share that with other people as well. So it's not just the algorithm. It's also people consciously choosing to share these things, of course. Donald Trump entering into this new social media space allows him to inject
Crypto
more
Keeper,
of that stuff into
you're
the
welcome.
conversation,
Thank you
and people
for the
can
nice
amplify. He's very frustrated. I like to refer to this as his vertigo moment for the old Jimmy Stewart move.
New Trump site would be a safe space for lies. The thing about Donald Trump is he lied as president of the United States how many times? How many lies did Donald Trump tell as president of the United States? 30,573. The guy who, as president of the United States, lied 30,573 times in 4 years, starts a social media platform and calls it Truth. I can't make this shit up, folks. This shit writes itself. I hope you're laughing, because it's hilarious. That's hilarious. Hell yeah. Wow. That's amazing, huh? So, I'm gonna go down to the garage. I'm gonna set up some nets, 3 nets, so I can hang up 3 plants. Should be pretty basic, pretty easy. The thing is, the plants are pretty goddamn big. My top cola on plant number 1 snapped it in half. It just it's sitting like that with a total right angle break. Couple bud branches broke, so it's good that I'm going down there to bring them in. Probably get some bins. It's not far to carry. They're not going to get really wet if they're in little bins. Mark's probably going to bring his big deep bins though. Those are bigger. So $61,350 is the freaking 24-hour high, man. It's about to hit. It's not that far away. Huh, I wonder if it could develop steam. What day say? Sunday. Ah, it's not a good day for that to happen. It might just keep going along where it's at. Let me see where it's coming from. Yeah, it's man, it's like a freaking heartbeat right there, man. Reverse head and shoulders. Yes. We got a reverse head and shoulders here, guys. It's going up. It's going to go up right now. It's going to go over 61 right now. Watch. It's at 970. Watch. It's going over it right now. It's 980. Watch. It's going to 61 right now. 980. It's going because there's a reverse head and shoulders that just occurred. There's also a decrease in value and volume, resulting in a shot upwards. It's definitely going straight up. It's going up to 61. It's just revving up its engine. Rev up your engines! Rev up your engines! So it can shoot up over 61. Here it goes. Psst. Nobody's not revving up the engines anymore, though. Come on, reverse head and shoulders. We can all see it. It's right here. This is a reverse head and shoulders for sure. For sure. That is a reverse head and shoulders. I see it. Why are you failing me, Bitcoin? Why are you failing me, Bitcoin? You're failing me. What do you suppose is going on here? For I don't know. Let's move this chat over here. Yes, and put this right here. Very good, sir. Yes, indeed. Okay. What's going on? What happened to my 61? Where's my 61? Reverse head and shoulders. Reverse head and shoulders. Here we go. Reverse head and shoulders. Boom. Yellow bar right now. Watch this. We're going to get a yellow bar right here. Watch. You don't believe me? Watch. Watch. Here it comes. You don't believe me? Watch. Watch. Yellow bar right now on my command. And 3, 2, 1. Turn yellow, sir. Boom. Huh? Huh? How you like me now? What? No, it's not. It's green, Gussie. Look again. It's fucking green. And it's going to go to 61 right now. Boom, boom, 61. Exactly as I predicted. Boom. Reverse head and shoulders. I told you it was going to go to 61. There it is. Boom. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I just called that jump. I just called that jump in Bitcoin. I saw it. I knew it was going to happen. Reverse head and shoulders, man. Gets it every time, man. The old reverse head and man, there is a fly flying around in here. I will put you in a fucking spider web. I will put you in a spider web. Got my head on a swivel. By 6 p.m. it's supposed to just about stop raining. Just let up enough to the point where we should be able to do this and not get all muddy. But my plants are way bigger than his. It's going to be a much. That's why he's offering to help, you know. He knows it's a big job harvesting those 3 plants. Whoa, Shiba Inu and Doge are doing well. Look at this. Saitama's not doing as well, huh? It's at -4 now. Oh, SNX is down. I don't like to see that. Huh. Harmony 1 is +9. Very, very important. 61,000. Bitcoin is in the 61,000 realm. $61,000, guys. And it's kind of staying up above right now. So that's a good hover. 25, 30, 33, 33. Whoa, it went all the way down to 61. It's bouncing back up to 32. Wow. So controlled. 34. 45. 46. 47. 49, guys. 51, 57. 50, 61, 85. It's about to go to 61.1. I don't know what we're going to retest. Let me see what the retest is. 61.149 last time. About a half hour ago. 149. Can we go through 149? That's the question. 149 to get to 350. 149. This is the highest it's been in over an hour. There it goes. There it goes. There it goes. There it goes. Right past it, guys. Is it going to go to 350 now? That reverse head and shoulders was powerful. Now we're going to get pumps after it spikes. It's going to pump a few times, echo down a little bit. We'll see if that's what it did yesterday. We're really learning what this crypto does. Bitcoin here. What's Ethereum up to? There we go. Get that on there. And 61,350 is the 24-hour high. It's very close to that right now. Wow. So Bitcoin's pumping along, doing really well. It looks great. It went down to 59.5. It went down to 59.5 within the last 24 hours. The lowest it went was 59.5. I don't know how long ago that was. It was a long time ago. A long time ago. Cardano 212. Cardano's working its way up too. You can keep your eyes on those these bars at the very bottom. Those down there. And that's your volume. You see a big green spike down there, it's going up. So it should pump a couple of times because of that head and shoulders. It was totally predictable that it was going to do this. You guys could see it. I could see it. I pointed out to you. It's simple. There's nothing to it. Both the volume and the value were dropping after a reverse head and shoulders. That's just two bumps and a big bump. They call that a reverse going downwards. And it's in the last half hour to an hour. You see a movement like that. It almost always, and this isn't gospel, but almost always on Bitcoin right now will result in a spike upwards. Look right now, 250. We got within about 100 of our 24-hour high, guys. There's 250 right there. There's man, it is just so close. Ethereum's looking great at 4,100. I just realized my picture's in the way here. Oops. There we go. Oh, it's because I was showing you the... Oh. Oh, there we go. There we go. That's good. Man, the BP 100 BP is way low on the buying compared to selling, I believe. That's because it's a Sunday, it's the end of the night, man. A lot of people aren't paying attention right now. All over the world, things are shutting down. So I don't know if there's going to be enough buying power out there to support Bitcoin and keep it up above, you know, this 60, even 60K, let alone 61. I'm assuming it's going to drop under 61. But it's because of the time of day and the day of the week and shit, you know, markets and such. I really have no idea. But anyway, I'm going to go get to work, guys. I'm going to go start putting up netting in my garage. I'll see y'all later. Take care. Bye now.